Trish. I need to ask you a favour straight up. Just forgive me for my hair today. It's been absolutely ridiculous. I tried, but when I got out of the shower this morning, I wrapped it up in an old t-shirt and then I forgot about it. So it was wrapped up in my little turban for 7 hours, and this is what happens. So, now, the next thing I want to get to, probably the important thing, is how to calculate how many calories you need per day to maintain weight, and then you can also use that formula with a bit of tweaking to work out how many calories you need per day to lose weight or to gain weight. So, first off, you need to know your BMR, not your BMI. BMI is something different, as inaccurate as it is. I like to think of it as a bloody moronic, inaccurate description of your health. It's just absolutely ridiculous. As an example, check me out today. This is me. But don't look at the beetroot. I've been eating beetroot today and I'm a grub. I'm 91 kilos. At my height, that makes me obese. And, you know, all the negative connotations that there are with obesity, it means, you know, I'm going to have a heart attack, I'm going to have a stroke, I'm going to get cancer, I'm going to die. Bullshit. I'm fit, I'm strong, I'm healthy. You know, all my other numbers are fine. You know, my cholesterol's fine, my blood sugar's fine. All that is good. My resting heart rate is amazing. My recovery heart rate is really good. I am definitely 100% overweight. I'm definitely 100% a little bit fat. But to label someone of my size with my health, my fitness, my strength, my health as obese is just absolutely ridiculous. And now I've got no problem with the word obese. I used to when I was really, really obese. Now I don't like it because it does indicate that you are really unhealthy. So that's my bugbear with it. So, you know, I prefer to just think of myself as a little bit fat. So I'm not a big fan of the BMI. It's very, very inaccurate, and I will make another video about that one day, about how it actually came about, and you'll see just what bullshit it is. So anyway, you need your BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate, which is how many calories your body needs per day if you did nothing. If you just laid in bed or laid on the couch watching TV or whatever, it's your base calorie needs for just running your body. Things like keeping your heart beating and having you breathe and digesting your food, that sort of thing. So there's plenty of websites online where you just plug into your browser BMR calculator, it'll pop one up, put in all your details, and I'll add something after I've spoken about how to do that. So then you get your base number of calories that you need each day. Then you need to go and do another thing called the Harris Benedict Equation that takes your BMR and it factors in how active you are. And it gives you a whole heap of choices as to whether you're sedentary, whether you exercise 1 to 3 days a week, 3 to 5 days a week, 5 to 7 days a week, twice a day, that sort of thing. Because if you're more active, your body needs more calories than if you're just going to lay on the couch all day. I have found it to be fairly accurate. The only things it doesn't take into consideration are if you, you know, like just say you're a footballer and you're like 110 kilos, but you're 110 kilos of muscle, right? On a BMI calculator, you'll be obese. But because it's all lean muscle mass, you're actually quite healthy, and this is another reason I don't like the BMI. So it won't be completely accurate if you have like a lot of real lean muscle mass. You will actually need more calories than what it says. And the same goes for if you have quite a high body fat percentage. It'll overestimate how many calories you need. So you would need to reduce it a little bit to take that into account. But overall, I've found it to be pretty accurate. So I will go and do my fancy screen capture thing that I hope I can do a better job of this time. I've worked out a couple of ways to tweak it and show you how to do the calculations. Oh, and another thing, once you work out your Harris Benedict equation, it'll give you a number of how many calories you need according to how active you are. to maintain your weight, eat that number of calories. If you want to lose weight, and I think a good number to aim for is between half a kilo and 1 kilo per week. If you want to lose half a kilo per week, you reduce your calories by 500 calories per day. If you want to lose 1 kilo a week, you reduce your calories by 1,000 calories per week. Now, obviously, if you've just had weight loss surgery, you're going to be losing, or you will very possibly be losing weight at a much higher rate than that. You could be losing 2.5, maybe even 3 kilos a week initially. That's fine. That's just how it all works. But in the long term, to get all the rest of your weight off beyond those first few weeks or first couple of months, I'd be aiming for half a kilo to a kilo per week. That's healthy, it's sustainable, it's sensible. And by the same token, if you're way at the end of your weight loss journey and you've gone too far and you need to gain weight, you increase your calories by 500 calories per day to gain half a kilo a week, or 1,000 calories per day to gain a kilo a week. So anyway, I'll go and do my fancy magic with the screen stuff. I'll see how I go. Okay, here's where I try to work my magic. There are a million BMR calculators online. I'm just going to look up one, and that is the first one that pops up. And you can see I've already used it before. And then all you do is you plug in your details. So I am female. I am 170 centimetres. At the moment I'm 91 kilos. And for a little bit longer I'm 47. And submit. And then that will come down here and tell you, or tell me, that I need 1,620 calories per day. Just to live, just to lay on the couch and do nothing. Then I take that number and I go over to look up the Harris Benedict Equation, and I've used this one before as well. Now you can see down here that it's got the numbers that you need to multiply your BMR by, depending on how active you are. Now I'm going to choose this one, saying that I'm lightly active and that I do light exercise sports 1 to 3 days a week. I'm actually going to the gym. I'm aiming for 2 to 3 days a week, so that's why I'm going to choose this one. And I always try to go with the lower option, because it's better for me if I can lose weight rather than gain it. So this tells me to calculate, to times my BMR, which was at 1,620 calories, times 1.375. So if I open up my calculator and I plug in 1,620 times 1.375, that tells me that to maintain my weight, I need to have 2,227.5 calories per day. For me, that's a little high, but as I mentioned before, if you have a higher body fat percentage, it will overestimate how many calories you need. I know that I can have up to about 1,800 to 2,000 calories per day and not run into any problems. I can have this many calories in a day very occasionally, but to be very honest, it's very difficult for me to get this many calories actually into my body. Now, if I wanted to lose half a kilo a week, then I would need to reduce this by 500 calories per day. So that tells me I would need 1,727 calories per day to lose half a kilo per week. And at that, you know what, I would probably be more likely to maintain, maybe lose a tiny little bit. If I stuck to this every single day, I would be losing weight, but I don't think I'd be losing it at half a kilo per week. Now, if I wanted to lose a kilo per week, I would need to reduce that that number by a further, well actually we'll go back to the start. So it was 1,620 calories times 1.375, no, 1.375 equals, now if I wanted to lose 1 kilo a week, I would need to reduce that number weight by 1,000 calories per day. And I think in the video before I said 1,000 calories per week. That's not going to do you anything, do you much good at all. So yeah, 1,000 calories per day which would mean that I would need to have 1,227.5 calories per day. And I'll tell you right now, that would be a magic number for me. I would definitely be losing very close to 1 kilo per week if I drop my calorie intake down to that level. So it's really just going to be some trial and error for you. Work out using your BMR calculator and your Harris Benedict Equation, and factor in your activity level. And if it says to you, have 1,700 calories per day to lose half a kilo a week, and you're doing that and you're keeping track of your calories and you're exercising as much as you say you're exercising, but at 1,700 calories per day, you're only like losing 200 or 300 grams per week. Lower a little bit. This is a good rough estimate to how many calories you need each day, but it's going to depend. It's going to depend on how much muscle mass you've got and how much body fat percentage you've got, and like when you go to the gym, maybe you think you're working really hard, but you're not really working that hard. And it's also going to depend on whether you're doing cardio or weights. If you're doing cardio, you burn calories while you are doing that cardio, but as soon as you stop doing that cardio, your body's not burning fat anymore. And it depends if you're going really hard at the cardio or if you're doing fat burning. If you are doing weightlifting and really working muscles and really like building muscles and using those muscles really hard, then you continue to burn fat even after you leave the gym. So it's going to depend on the sort of exercise you're doing as well. It's going to depend on the foods that you eat. If you're still eating lots of sodium, lots of carbs, you're going to be holding on to fluid weight as well. So there's a lot of factors, but as I said, this BMR calculator and the Harris Benedict equation are a good place to start.